Alrighty, everyone. Whoops, threw chat away. There we are. Howdy, y'all. Well, y'all, welcome to the horror show that is that is data. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun stream tonight. This is I don't know why this is junky. I think it's how I'm doing it tonight. I need both my screens. Usually I just use one. But anyways, glad to be back with y'all. I am Theology Matters. You can call me Eli. And for the next it's got to be less than 2 hours, I'll be with you. So tonight we have a fun episode. I call it fun because I'm graced with the tism that is engineering. And we're going to get into some statistics. We're going to get into some principal arguments. And we're going to get into why Republicans, especially in the state of Oklahoma, are scared of state question. What was it? State question 836. So, yeah, we're going to get into it because the Republicans are not saying why they're actually scared of this state question. They want to say that it's because we're going to be like California, but that's not actually the true case. Hey, the Bucks are up finally. Or again, I should say. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. So we're going to start. I have so tonight at the very least we're going to discuss that. I'm going to go through at least why they're wrong to just keep saying that because they're actually fearful of Republicans. That's the thing. They are afraid of state question because of Republicans, and it's not because Republicans are dumb enough to vote for the state question. It's actually because they don't do that at all. So we'll get into that. Why I have my statistics to back me up. So whenever I have the claim, which is basically the entire video, Oklahoma Republicans are kind of lazy cunts when it comes to voting. If you got a problem with that, just stay tuned. We're going to go through all the math. I'm going to explain my methodology, and I've fact checked myself here or there in my own variation. So I think it's coming out in my math. Other from that, I think we just got a lament of a warden about AimFest is coming up. They released the guest list. I'm gonna briefly talk about it because I thought it was kind of funny. And yeah, other than that, I think that'll be all that we'll get through tonight. So, anyways, yeah, again, my name is Theology Matters. You can call me Eli. And if you could help me out, you traditional YouTuber things, if you could like subs, the follows, the whatnots, help me out with there. Anyways, excuse me. So what we got tonight. So I'm a little free-handed because it's mostly just a presentation. This is a presentation of my data, so I don't have a roadmap like I usually do. Unfortunately, so I think we got to start with a video. Those are dead. Frick. I do need this. I do need my headset. Okay, so what I want to let you. So there was a video. So the state question. What was it? 936. No, 836. I want to say 9 because it's 3 and 6, and then I want to say 9 is the first one, but it's 8. I have to remind myself to deduct the 1. So it's 836. So the state question has been active for a while. I think they're currently in the progress of getting signatures. A lot of the governor candidates in Oklahoma have been talking about it. They want to how do I put this? They want to stop it, and it's the same recycled talking points, which kind of fails because it's only those select few points. But then you deal with mightism, and I'm revealing that the reason they don't want to say anything more than that is because they will be, in fact, throwing a middle finger to their base. And let's be honest, Oklahoma Republicans, you need this middle finger. This is bad. Like, I mean, bad. Like, you thought the Titanic was bad. It was. This is less. This is less, but just the points. Do people die because of this? Not halfway. Dependent. Death is murky. It's like you have political death. You could have death indirectly, stuff like that. So sorry, I need to blow my nose. That was one thing I meant to do before I started. All right. So, okay. So, I think that we'll start off with the video that Mr. What's his first name? The fish is staring me in the head. What's his name? McCall. Come on. That should it's McCall. Who's the governor candidate? McCall something. Is it Mike? No. Charles. There we are. Took me a minute. Sorry, almost slipped off my chair again. You know what's ironic? I've had this chair for like a year. It's a very cheap chair that I bought for like maybe less than 100. The armrest is already because I all the time I'm just doing, and so my impact from my elbow has decreased the tissue so much that like it's peeling off the felt the leather, the pleather, whatever it is, the rubbery thing. So it's just funny because I have an indention point that that I've been there. Surprisingly, the other one is fine. So maybe what I should do is um reverse these, and so that way it's like the use. Anyways, so I want to play the video. I'm screwing up a little bit of what I had. So give me 1 second. I need to find it in the folder. There we are. I think I meant for this for the closer, but let's start it.
I want to speak.
Okay. I forgot what this is. It's been a while since I've listened to this, but I remember to have this. Also, I have been meaning to stream this so long. Last week, I got a cold Thursday. No, Tuesday. Tuesday night, I got a sore throat, so I couldn't do it that week. The other week, the data was large. I'll show you when I say the data was large. Why I was like, I had to take days to do this because there's a lot of data. Compute because I needed to computerize it in my variation. But yeah, so what was it? I had to shift it back because there was too much data. Then by the time I was going to do it, I got sick, and then now we're here. And then Thanksgiving showed up, so it waited another week. So this has been in the queue for like 3 weeks, just slowly abiding its time. So, anyways, stab myself. Mr. Charles McCall, take us away and let's see what's cracking.
I want to speak plainly to every Oklahoma voter.
You know, that's bad. I don't like this guy, just to be clear. I don't like Charles McCall. I think he's a snake. And that's not because he's got fish face. That's just because I don't trust him. There's something in my gut, and it's not fat. And I don't mean because I'm fat. I mean because there's just something there. Something wearies with me on this, and also those talking points. You'll hear the talking points if you listen to this state question long enough. You'll hear the talking points again and again and again and again. This is Dai's first time saying a video like this, so. But anyways, I'll let him actually speak. Let him actually speak, and I'll stop it again.
I want to speak plainly to every Oklahoma voter. Do not sign State Question 836. This is a California-style power grab.
Okay, so I want to stop there. So yes, I would not sign this. I did an entire other live stream discussing this and why it was bad. Not only ideologically, but also just of statistics. And guess how I came up to that? Guess what tonight's going to be about again, too? It's a redo. Like, I basically, the other year, I just did 2024, and I basically was like, hey, we don't vote. Guess what I did this time? We'll find out. Give me a minute. But yeah, it is I will agree with him. He is right. Do not sign it. No matter how much I think he's a snake, do not sign it, and do not. It is a California. It is, or it's the leftists. The leftists want it. I can show that later. I'll explain why the Democrats want it. Because there's some numbers that are kind of effing with them. I think that's in. Hold on. I only have like 8 graphs. Sorry. Yes, 8 graphs. Sorry. 8 graphs. 4C will have it. So, anyways.
It's the radical left attempting to destroy our closed primary system and silence Oklahomans' voices in our elections.
That's a fucking lie. Sorry, did I say something? Yes, I did. Yeah, that's a lie. And this is why I had it for the closer, but we do need to listen to this prior. Yeah, that sentence, let's go back to it, actually. Let's go back to it. I want you to listen to that last sentence he said.
Destroy our closed primary system and silence Oklahoma's voices in our elections.
Silence our Oklahoma voters. Mhm. Yeah. Silence. Yeah. See, here's the thing. When we get into the math, you're gonna find out how that sentence is so ironic. Is that he's saying, "Oh, people are going to be silenced." Bruh. Do do I need to show you this math? Probably I do. I probably don't actually. The Republicans probably know it. Before I'm able to do it because I actually have brains and I may have tisms. The circumcised people thought putting those microplastics in our food would help, and nope, created autistic generation.
In California, their top two system has left
Uh,
voters with nothing but liberal choices. If we'd had this in 2018, your choice for governor in November would have been Drew Edmondson and Connie Johnson, both Democrats.
Hold on, I had to validate that. Sorry, I completely forgot to redo that. So he said Connie. It's not Connie, it's Constance, but it is Johnson. Hold on. Oh, he's right. Okay. That's a factual statement, actually. Sorry, I'm looking at my data. That's actually right. But you'll find out why you'll find out why it's kind of funny that he says that, but what he doesn't want to say is what I am gonna say, which is why I am the anomaly. Anyways, let's finish it.
State Question 836 isn't about fairness. It's about flooding our elections with big money, weakening our parties, and handing power to out-of-state activists. We've built a strong conservative state through hard work and strong values. State Question 836 puts all of this at risk. As your next governor, I will fight to protect our elections, our values, and our voice. Join me in signing our petition to decline State Question 836.
All right. So, yeah. So anyways, uh most of that was correct. I will give him points for that. Most of that was correct. However, Dumbnut found out again, my data is going to show off that everything they're saying, there is a reason that they don't want it to be revealed. So anyways, I need to get back into okay, sorry, I had to move my so I have an Excel file. So that's basically where I'm pulling most of this stuff because I needed to do a chart. So that was Charles McCall. Charles McCall thinks he's running for governor. He thinks he's going to win. Supposedly, it's going to be if the pre-date stuff is any type of concern, it'll be him versus excuse me. Um, what's the AG? Drummond, Getner Drummond. Yeah, which hopefully I don't like either of them. Let's be fair. I don't like any of them. Well, I did. Guess what? Another live stream. I did another live stream about it, and I hate both of them. One is fishy, and the other feels fishy. And honestly, it doesn't matter which is which. It's just they're both fishy. And I'm not saying that because McCall has fish eyes. I'm just saying because no. So, anyways, so before I could really get into what I kind of want to talk about, because he was talking about the California, so he's half right. The top two primary is somewhat new. Only who was it? I did this research like I wouldn't say 20 minutes ago. It was like a couple hours ago. What was it? I think Alaska has parts like it'll does a somewhat of it. No, it's not Alaska. Sorry, not Alaska. It's Washington has it. Washington has the two top, and so does Nebraska. But Nebraska is nonpartisan, so it doesn't have weird things are weird in Nebraska. Nebraska only has like one chamber as well. I think they're like bicameral or something. They're not like bicameral. I think they're unicameral or whatever. Things are weird in Nebraska. Things are flipped. There's it's not federal looking, if that makes any sense. But Nebraska, since it's all nonpartisan, they have the top two primaries as well. What's his name? Washington. I said Washington. Washington also has the top two. So yeah, it's a bit more of a leftist thing to do to pull in. Most states have a closed primary or the kind of um I walk in and Eli's talking about weird stuff. What was I talking about? Oh, bicameral. Bicameral. That it's like bicycle. It's not weird. It's the name. It's the definition. I can't walk out of that. What are you talking about? It's like unicycle. I can't help it that it kind of rhymes with eunuch. It's the same. It's just the word. Um. So, anyways, what was I getting on? Right. So this top two system is semi new, but it's not everywhere. I think that's mainly because a lot of states are still kind of purplish because it is a heavy tendency blue states, except for Nebraska. But Nebraska is an anomaly. I get it. Um, and the other two are blue. So it's very much of a Democrat ploy. Now, to be fair, we in Oklahoma, I think the Democrats do not have the numbers to come against the Republicans, and I can actually tell you by how much because because again, this is a lot of data that I had to do, so I'm throwing a lot of data in. So, the last time I did this when I was discussing the state question, I went through the 2024. So, let me just show what I did. So, the state question, whatchamacallit, the state question, right? The last time I did it, I did a 2024. This is not it, mind you. I had to do a new Excel. So the thing is here, this is all of the primaries. So this is the state house of Oklahoma. This is the state senate of Oklahoma as well. I went through every election that year, and for every primary that went off, it was listed in this column, right over here in the left. And this is the runoff column. And so I kept that because those are kind of primary-esque because of the fact that they're not the November elections, so you have to go beyond the November. Then I got the general, which actually I didn't need after I realized that it's a dumb stat to have. But I also got the registered Republican stats of how many Republicans live in the state, and I filled that out in a poll in straight down. So, um, those are available at the Oklahoma County Election Board. They have their numbers. These are all numbers of the same year. So all of this number, this was taken at November 1st of 2024. And now, true, the primaries are happening in June and August for the runoffs. But I'm going to make the assumption because the other numbers I get are in January. My assumption is if you are voting in the general, you more than likely are voting in the primary. And if you are somehow, let's say you turn 18 between them, the numbers in district is going to be so negligible that I don't think it counts. So I did that for the House and Senate. That was the first time I did this, right? I did this math. And so what I did was this, what I call a care ratio. Now, care ratio, and more specific it is the House primary care ratio. So the care ratio for the primary is basically going to be the max between the runoff and the primary, or yeah, and divided that by the total Republicans that shown up. So I now can confirm in, say, District 2, in 2024, only 24, give or take, because that says 23.7 Republicans showed up. Actually, can I? Yeah, that'll be 10 times better. Okay, so I can validate. Sorry, there we are. Now everyone can see. So I can validate that only 24 of the Republicans actually showed up. So 75% of Republicans in District 2 are lazy cunts who couldn't vote in 2024 for whatever reason. Now, I could maybe think, that you're like, that's one district, right? No, I did that for every single one. Mind you, Oklahoma has 101 districts. I went through 101. This is why I told you this data took me time because there's 101 districts. In the House, there's 46 seats. Sorry, 48. Sorry, I thought it was 46. It's 48 seats. 48 seats for the Senate. I also did it for the Senate. Now, the Senate is up. Now, here's the thing. The House is up every 2 years. So that means this is a the House is of a more every 2 years cycle, which is typically when everyone votes. During, like, 2025, there wasn't really votes, if that makes any sense. Um, because there shouldn't be any elections except a special election that shows up, like, out of the blue, but predominantly, ideally, it happens in 2024, it'll happen in 2026 when I'll be running for office. But the Senate isn't up every year, so the Senate numbers are kinda less, revealing because there's not as many seats mixed with that not everyone is up. I think only half of those seats are technically up, but for the House, all of them are up. So there's 101 primaries that theoretically would be happening unless no one challenges the incumbent, which is almost ever, and also general. So, like in District 6, where I have Rusty Cornwell, where I'll be facing him off, there's 16,200 Republicans as of 2024. Now, he didn't have me in 2024 to contest him because I balked. But next year he will, so he'll have a primary, but he hasn't had a general contestant since he won the office in 2018. Now, this is where I did more. Because you would think I already did this before. Why didn't I not just copy over my data? Well, that's because I did it for 2024, 2022, 2020, 2018, 2016, 2014, and 2012. I did almost 12 years of data. I got through half. I was listening to Majorian or the Latin Slavs. I was listening to them for like over 2 hours. I only got half of this done. And this was just the House. I didn't even start in the Senate yet. This is a lot of data. By the way, Latin Slavs, they totally need subs. Please help them out. They are trying to if they get to 1,000, they'll talk with what's her name? Julia from War on Beauty. I love how I'm forgetting that when I literally was talking about her like 2 weeks ago. But anyways, the guys are gonna have to talk me up. I'm the only one there that isn't linked. Uh, anyways, so I did that for 2024, right? So this is the methodology. The methodology is pretty simple, right? It's a pretty simple methodology. It's basically primary numbers of how many people actually voted divided by how many Republicans should have voted. And then I have a ratio to figure that out. Then what I did after that was just get the average of the entire districts over 146 for the Senate, and then I found the average for that. And then after I found that average, I compiled everything together. As you can see here, I compiled everything together. I need to do this more. I compiled everything. We'll look at these charts. Don't worry. Don't look at those. Are you going to get drunk before? I don't need to get drunk to hit on women. Oh, I thought you no, I said it right. Never mind. The joke doesn't work because I said it right. Um, but no, I'm not gonna. I wasn't even drunk the last time. I I definitely had a buzz. I'll agree with that. I felt it. But anyways, so for the House, I was able to get the combination of those whatchamacallit, the averages. I was able to put those on a graph, put them in a column, and this is for the Senate. So that is the methodology that is going on tonight. So basically, and the reason that I find this far more valuable information is because there's something called the voting age eligible drunk. You literally yelled for what are you talking? I didn't, bro. You're gonna post. Bro, put that in you're gonna have to quote this on Twitter and put that gift. I did not say that. Okay, if I did, it was a joke. But I would not. Let's be fair. If I did say it, it was a joke. There was no way that I would say that. I do not mean that literally. Okay. I have a clip. Just quote it on the Twitter. Let me see it. because then I'm attached to that. I'll see it. So that's so funny. I don't remember ever saying that either. I don't. To be fair, it was like it was like what? How long was I active? Hold on. I talked. I don't know how I discussed for 3 hours. Sorry, hold on. Slight tangent. This is where the tism. I talked for almost 5 hours. That's insane. Usually Thursdays are more simple. I still can't believe I talked for what was it? I talked for it was a 12-minute video and I talked for 3 hours. I still can't believe I did that. So anyways, back to the issue at hand. So that is the kind of methodology that I had going in. It's far better than the voting age population where they kind of do some estimation and be like, so, you have this group of people, these people are 18 and plus, these are the people that can vote because so long as they register, and then that is their denominator, and then there's the actual votes, right? So I'm still keeping the actual votes. The only difference is I'm actually putting in the people that registered instead of people who actually took the initiative rather than just the simple well, you could register. I'm doing the you actually did your duty people and then seeing who's actually at fault. Um so I think we can go into the graph. I don't think I'm missing anything. The methodology I discussed, it's a very simple methodology. I don't think it's bad because of later steps I took. I was able to kind of validate it. So for the first one, we have the house. These is the house primary care ratios during these years. So as you can see, the highest we ever got to was 42%, and that was or actually, what was it? Oh, no, it was exactly 42%, was the average of a house primary in 2018. Now, I don't know, 2018 for some reason does have a weird uptick, compared to any other year. I don't know why 2018 is just focused. I know a governor election happened that year. That was the year Stitt, was in off it was his, like, first um, for he was vying for his first term, so I don't know if because a governor election was open, this is why it's so high, but what's weird is these stats are kinda mirroring to the governor race. You would think it would have happened in 2010 when Fallon was first running, and I'm not getting that either. So either A, people cared more about voting in 2018 than 2010, and because of that, it just grew more. It was a post-Trump effect, or I don't know. Um, because people didn't vote like 2016. People didn't vote for Trump. Damn, 24 is low. 22 is okay. It must be like during governor elections, Oklahoma actually shows up, which is great news for me because hey, I'm running for office. I need you guys to vote for me. And you'll vote in the primaries, so I know you'll be at my polls, which is what I need. So, anyways, so this is the House primary care ratio. So the lowest we get to is about like a 20.4. Thank you, pause. I'll look at that later. So, yeah, so it's about a 20.4 is the lowest. 24, I think, comes in second with about a 22.5. So it's about 20. The average we got to was about a 28.8. So give or take about a third, less than a third of Republicans actually show up for the election, which is very sad. Only a third of Republicans actually show up for primaries. That's an average over a decade plus. Like, that's bad. That's bad, folks. Oh, sorry. Okay. Like, that's bad. Right? Like, I can understand, like, if it was the 50, I can maybe understand the 2018, but gosh, I cannot take this, like, 20%, this 23. Like, why are you guys not showing up to vote? And these are just the House elections, right? You would think that it gets better. Oh, hell no. Look at the Senate. The Senate, the highest we got to was again in 2018, and it was 40.5. Now that's 1.5 less than the House, but don't remember it because you were drunk. I remembered last night. I remember that night. So it's just I don't remember saying it was 5 hours. I don't remember everything. Um, so, but it does kind of mirror. I will say it does mirror. Can I put that in? Hold on. Can I put the other one in, or is he gonna override it? Oh, sweet. Okay, so we could do two. Let me. Okay. Um. Actually, let me do this and do that. That still looks bad. I don't know. Do this and then do. Nope, that sucks. We'll just do this. So as we can see, kind of here, the graphs are very like this is the Senate and the House, right? Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me flip. Okay, so you see the House. We were discussing that earlier. That's in the top left over here. The House looks remarkably similar to the Senate. The blah, blah, blah. Distribution. I said that right now. Stop myself. Distribution is the same. It does have that kind of like low, high, low, high, kind of lowing down, abysmal, and then the average. These are very similar to each other, which is kind of interesting because that kind of means that maybe I'm on the right track because the same value of people showing up to vote is about the same. Now, let me get rid of this one. So I need to flip again. Didn't I have this in a different variation? Yes, I did. So, um, so that was the House and Senate. Now you would think that that's all I did. Well, that's where you'd be wrong. So I did even more than that. Actually, before I do that, I need to shift over there. So I went even further and I was like, okay, well, this is just the House and the Senate, right? There's got to be more to this, right? There can't just be, hey, Baker Mayfield lighting up the floor. There's got to be more to validate me because I cannot say that excuse me, an average would be about what 30% give or take for the House, less than 30%. So meaning Republicans out of 3 Republicans, 2 of them don't vote in primaries. That would suck. So I thought, well, let's take a look, shall we? Let's see how the entire state does. So I put the governor elections. So there's been 3 governor elections during that time period, and then I added the 4th because it's only in 2010. I couldn't find 2010 stats, so I wanted to do 2010, but I couldn't find 2010 stats readily available, and it was getting at me, so I didn't do 2010. I did to 2012, but for the governor, I did from 2012 or 2010 to 2022. So that's 4 governor elections. So that was the two terms of Fallon and 2 of Stitt. When you do that, there is let me show my graph again. So this is the Excel file. So from 2010, there was again, we're doing the primary systems, right? So for 2010, Jaron Atkinson, Jerry Askins, he got about 132,000 votes. Drew Evanson, which name is ringing a bell, right? That was what McCall said. He got about 130 plus thousand. Mary Fallon got 136. So it would have been Mary Fallon versus Jaron Atkinson, which it was at the end if we had an open primary, right? If we had the top 2 system, right? But here's the thing. This is going on, right? This is there's 4 Republicans eyeing for the spot. We have the 2 Democrats. We'll get into why all like counting up these primaries is really fun. So 24, there was no Democrat primary. Joe Dorman just won all out. Now, why do I have this 23% over here? 23%. Actually, I got to hold on to that. Remind me, I got to discuss that. But Mary Fallon, she won with about 200,000 votes. So remind me, this 23 is very important. Don't look at where it was looking at. So that was 2014, and that was Fallon's second term. Now we're in 2018. This is when a lot of people were voting, supposedly. So we have Mike Cornett. He got about 133,000. Stitt got to 110,000. These two guys went to the runoff. Everyone else lost. I think at the end, I want to say I voted for Lamb. Wait, I couldn't vote. What am I talking about? I couldn't vote. This is I still wasn't legal. That's funny. Okay. So yeah, so all of this happened. Big bets. Now this is what McCall was saying. Drew Edmondson, we're coming back, got 243,000 votes. Constant Johnson, which I think he said Constance, or he said some other C word, or C name, got 153,000. They don't even get to that. The two highest guys in our Republican runoffs. So yes, if the top two system happened, it would have been Democrats for 2018. Our generals wouldn't have had enough. Now, and see, this is why I say that the Republicans are being liars by not saying what the real problem is. They don't want to stare at what the real problem is. Because I'll ask you, guys, honestly, tell me, what is the difference between their numbers? Like, honestly, answer the question in your head. What is the difference between 133,000 and 153,000? I'll tell you. 20,000 votes. 20,000 votes. But surely we can't get 20,000 more people to vote in Republican primaries. We don't have the people. Oh, we do. So then we get into 2022. Sorry, 2020. Oh, no, it is 22. What am I doing? Joy Heffmeister and Constance Johnson went at it again. We got 102,000 for Joy. Is this the... No, Joy Heffmeister was... Joy Heffmeister, hold on, frick. I'm gonna make a joke, but unless she's oh, Hoff, I did the M too early. Oh yeah, no. Sorry, she's not the woman I'm thinking of. There's Joy Hoffmeister, and there's another girl that did like Tulsa PD or Tulsa Public Schools or something. She has like a white sliver of hair, against all her gray, and it's just, I don't know if it's dyed to be that way or it's natural, but either way. So Kevin Stitt, he got about 250,000 votes. So it would have been, though, ironically, Stitt versus Heffmeister, which at the very end of the day it was. So an open primary system, or a top two primary system, really wouldn't fault Oklahoma in this decade or whatever, because everything would still be Republican versus Democrat, except in 2018, which is the year he mentions. But this is why he doesn't want to mention what the real problem is. Because when I state what the real problem is, which I am about to, I'm getting there, you will understand why I'm saying Republicans are scared pussies when it comes to this question, because they don't want to answer what the true problem is. Now, excuse me, good grief. I don't know why every time I come up here, there's something on my nose, especially on Thursdays. Gaming, no problems. Thursday, nope, can't breathe. So, I need to show a different graph. So let me swap it. So I was talking about the governor race, though. So what we do there, sorry, let me come back. So what we did with the governor race. So how did I figure out the care ratios? Because again, I came back to a care ratio. How do I figure out the care ratio for the governor race? Well, it's pretty simple. You just take all the votes of the primary and divide that by the total Republicans in the state, and you get a percentage. Voila, it's not that hard. This methodology is real easy. This is the graphs. So you can see in 2018 we got to 45.1% of Republicans showed up. So, when I said that in 2018, right? Can I ask you guys, what's the difference between 45.1 and or let me ask you, what is 45 sorry, 54.9? Why would I bring up 54.9? Well, 54.9 is the inverse of the 2018 Republicans who shown up. We had half of our Republicans who didn't come to the polls. Half. Shut up, phone. Half of our Republicans just didn't show. And this baffles my brain. And that's just 2018. It's worse in other years. Like, this is such a red state, and I think it would be maroon if, people actually, I don't know, shut the F up. So, gosh, this is awful, right? Because I'm saying 50% of people showed up, right? 50% of people. To give you a stat, 2018, right? That's 500,000 people. 500,000 registered Republicans. Hold on, let me full screen this so you can see the pain in my eyes. That's 500,000 Republicans were too lazy to do early voting, absentee ballots, election day voting. You were too lazy to mark a box. And you wonder why the government doesn't work. Yeah, because you don't make it any better. Sorry, getting into my closer. I'm getting into my closer. I'm about to crash out. Waiting for the closer. Okay. So, yes, McCall, we would have 2 Democrats. You know why? Because Republicans didn't show up. Let's look at this graph once again. Where are my Republicans? That's right. Nowhere to be found. I'm getting lightheaded from shouting now. And then, of course, we get into the next years. Hold on. 2010 isn't even cracking near 30. 2014, we finally got 0.1 over 30. And guess what 22 is? 30.6. We got basically the same as 2014. Now, I don't know what 2018. I don't know why there's an uptick. Again, it's a weird anomaly. Get it? Because of the anomaly. Anyways, I still don't get the tick. I don't know where the just like I joke around and call it the penis of the graph. Because it's just like, wow, that came out of thin air, But it's like I don't know where 2018 is getting so much more oomph, right? Like, that's a 50% increase from the year prior and sorry, is 50% increase. Mind you, the 2018 race has 50% more people voting than in 2022 or 2014. Hell, 2010 is also. So I don't know where these magic 50% of people went, but where are you? And what's funny is I'm going to show, because we're going to get down into it now. But it's just ironic because you know why we would have had Drew Edmondson and Johnson? It's because half of our Republicans didn't show. Now, here's the thing. Half of our 500,000 people, right? I said 500,000 people didn't show up, roughly. Another 500,000 people did vote. 500,000 Republicans did vote. That would be I forgot to do this math. Hold on, quick math. 240 I'll just do 3. I'm too lazy to do rounding. So there's about a 400,000 Democrats that voted. So if we had one candidate as a Republican, we could have overshot them, and it would have been a 1-to-1 as normally, even in a top 2 tier system. And now I know this argument is making it sound like I'm for the top two arguments. I'm not. I'm just saying that this math, I want people to be honest about it. And the Republicans in my state do not want to be honest about why we don't have the people showing. So y'all remember? Sorry, I'm staring at it. You remember Joe? Actually, I'm gonna hold on to that. We'll discuss that. Sorry, it's in graph C. So, I need to swap graphs. So, anyways, hope everyone's having a good time. This is where I shine. Why? Because I'm a engineering guy. Of course, this is where I'm an engineer. Of course, I love my stats. So, anyways, now we're looking at so this is the average. Mind you, I've done three different years, three different care ratios, and I've done the average. The red is the House, the green is the Senate, the blue is the governor, and then the black is of course average. So you can see the graphs; they're remarkably similar. In 2014, now mind you, I could only do because governor races are only every 4 years. I had to only do this, and then I didn't do 2010 stats for the other two. So, but in 2022, remarkably similar, all near about 30%, right? Let me hold on. Let me get to my numbers for this actually. So the average was about 29%. Everything's like 28 to 30. So yeah, the average of 29 makes sense. Oh sorry, that was for 2014. Whoops. But it's about the same. The average is about 30% for 2022. Everything is about, if it's not 29.9 for the House and 30.5 and 30.6. So it's all basically a 30, give or take a percentage of more people. It's within 1%, and they all are close to each other. So 2022, I probably have inaccurate, like, I can tell you how many Republicans showed up to vote, period. Um, Now, when it comes to House Senate for 2018, it's a little bit mixed. The governor's was about 45, right? The lowest was the Senate for 40, 42 for the House. So the average was about a 42.5, ironically. So it's about give and take halfway between everything. So the House, but again, the House is a better predictor. The Senate was too low and the governor was too high. And I assume part of that is because more people in the state can vote in a specific district and just those numbers pool. And so I have a numerator that's larger. Sorry, let me use my hands. I have a numerator that's just larger because there are people voting all around, and specific districts have a cap of only so many people can vote, and then that creates an average. But in the governor election, I just do everyone votes, so every vote matters. But in the state, period. But in the House, every vote in that district matters. So if you may say have like 100 people voted in a district, hypothetically, but you had two districts that were zero, well, then you get the average of the 33. But you could have, I did this like 2 seconds ago. Why am I now dumbing that? But if you have, let's say, you had a district that was 100, um, or let's say you had a district that was, actually, is that the example? I think that's the example. I think everyone kind of gets where I'm getting. Sorry. I think that was just it. Yeah. It's because there's more people voting in a specific district, I think is what I'm getting at. That it kind of like, or yes, I think so. I think it makes sense. Hopefully. Um, but it's like everyone in the state votes. But for the House, it's just in the House and Senate, it's specific districts. So you got special pots, special portions of it. But for the state, it's just all together. So like you could have, let's say, like Tulsa or Oklahoma City. Well, there's going to be a lot more votes there because there's the city. So their average is going to go slightly up because of the Republicans that were voting there. But for some of the rural districts, because they're smaller and thus they've got less people in the denominator, their average may uh, go lower because not as many people showed up. But for the governor, because there are people to um, replace the people that didn't vote in a probably more rural area. So, anyways, I finally figured it out. So back to it. So we can find that we're coming up to a real commonplace. The house is very similar to the average every year. Um, so this is pretty good. I'm like, and by that I mean my stats coming in clutch. For Oklahoma voters, y'all need to do better. And let me explain why. I have the votes. I know how many party members there are in each state. Guys, you're not doing well. These are the votes casted, assuming the care ratios that I have. I multiplied them all, right? And then I put a line. So this black line signifies how many Republicans there are in the state. So there in 2012 or in 2022, there's 1.2 million, sorry, 1.2 million because it's vote per thousand, 1.2 million Republicans, and barely 400 of them showed up. And, we're not even getting to what, half a million because we're near one up here, 2018. Half a million are nowhere to be found. 300 almost didn't show up for the other place, the 2014. So you can see that there's a wide gap between. You can see that. Wait, hold on. What was that? All right. So you can see that there's this wide gap in this graph, right? There's a wide gap between how many people can vote and how many people do. That's a horrid. That's a two. Again, it's a 1-to-3 ratio. For every 3 Republicans, only one person votes. That means there's 3 people watching me. One of you votes. The 2 of you don't. Or 2 of you vote and sorry, 1 of you votes and since I vote because there's 4 people, I'm also included. So 2 of you don't vote, which is sad. This is a sad thing. We have a third of our government, or our government is controlled by a third of people who actually give a shit, which is kind of sad because, like, you want a bit, like, I'm getting into the closer. I keep wanting to go into the closer, but this is just like I got to report my findings. I'm sorry. I need to stick with how it typically should be, but this is my findings. This is all of the comparison of votes. And there is millions of almost a million people that just ain't voting. Now the worst thing is, and this is why I said save that 23. So the numbers have stayed very consistent, right? It's give or take about 30% of people. So I'm gonna explain this again. We have 30% of people, mind you. CC 1.3 stream win. C's 1.3 stream win. Miguel, what is that supposed to mean? Miguel? C's 1.6 stream win. I have no idea what that means, Miguel. CS. Counter-Strike. Oh. That would be never. I don't play that. I don't think you can play a controller with that, can you? OG. I don't think you can play Counter-Strike with a controller. But anyways, well, you probably could actually. But yeah, I probably would not play Counter-Strike. Maybe I'd rather play like COD, but if it wasn't for the Call of Groomers thing. But anyways, so what did I tell y'all? I said the average, right? Let's shift back to it for 2 seconds. I said the average. Sorry, right here. So we take a look at this graph. Again, the average is staying about 30%, right? Give or take. 30%. There's the kind of average of that 40%, right? Now, U controller. Yeah, sorry about that. I came from Xbox, so it came over as well. So it's about 30% of people actually vote. And that was for and that's for 3 different years, right? Now, if we even go into, let's say, the care ratios that I did prior, so the left is the House and the right. So we do these prior. You stay within a 40-20% block, right? Give or take. So it's about 30%, right? We've been on about that time and time again. Oops, sorry, wrong one. 30%. 30% of people are voting in primaries. Now, I want you to take a look at this graph. Explain to me how we have an increasing Republican numbers, but somehow still have the same freaking ratio. To put this in context, if 10 people, sorry, let me redo this. If we had 20 people, there we are. If we had 20 people voting, 6 people are voting. And that's sorry, let's reverse this. Sorry. I'm trying to, there's too many numbers in my head. What are the numbers, Mason? Sorry. So let's say we had 10 people in a room. Only 3 people would vote. Go through a couple years, we now have 20 people in the room. Only 6 of you are voting. There are 10 more people, and 7 people are being lazy cunts. And I can say that because I have my math. Because let's be honest. I'll be honest. I don't want to be calling Oklahomans, especially as a guy who's wanting to run out for office. Calling people lazy cunts and calling my voters lazy is not particularly a good look. However, this is not a good look either. This is horrible. This is horrible. When I call you lazy cunts, it's not because I hate you. It's actually because I love you, and that's why I want to serve you. But I can't serve you if you're going to just let us die. Like, I can't do my job if you don't do yours. I'm getting into my closer. Sorry. Still. Ah! I love that. It's like I keep wanting to get into it. But, it's just sad because for such a red state, I would expect better. Now, what's ironic is I was telling you guys the 23, right? 23%. Hold on, let's go back to it. So I was talking about 2014 for Mary Fallon, right? Mary Fallon won. She beat Joe afterwards. She also won the primary. Here's the thing. I have this 23%. You know what 23% does? It puts him on the ballot for an open. He was uncontested. If he got 23% of the vote, let's see, it was 2014. All he needed was 23% of these people to show up. And he would have won. The Democrats only need a quarter of their people to show. And that's horrendous to me. It's sad for me that is the case. Now, this is when we were equal, right? Because we take a look back at that graph in 2014, we were almost equal. It's about like 3,000 people, give or take, equal. So Republicans have been growing in these past years, but yet our care ratios are horrendous. We still have the same ratio of people voting as we have since when we were less, which means something's funky. And what's even more funny is I saw this graph and I found something ironic. Democrats are going down. Like, I was focused on Republicans, but Democrats, they're going down. The number of Democrats is going down. It's inverse compared to the Republicans. Republicans are going up, Democrats are going down. But you know what else is going up? Independents. And that also includes you, libertarians. I included you as an independent because, let's be fair, there's only about 20,000 of you. Like, for crying out loud, did I do the math? Yes, I did. There was about 2016. There was about 4,000 of you. Yeah, 3.6, 9, 14. Okay, yeah, there's about 24,000 of you independent There's about 24,000 according in 2014 independents. So you guys are kind of small. Um, Independents are kind of small. Um, or libertarians are kind of small. They don't have the same presence. You're not in the millions. You're barely in the hundreds of thousands. You're still in the thousands. You're still in the thousands. You're not in 100 Ks and all. So the thing that I can say with this though is it's just the care ratios are the same, but yet we still have a growing Republican count, which means we have a lot of Republicans that are lazy. We may have more Republicans in the state. It's about like 1.3 now, but of the 1.3, I think it's like 3.9, 3.9 or 390,000 of them show up to vote. Yes? Hold on. Damn it. Let me just pop out a calculator. Hold on. So we have a 1.3. Sorry, let me do the just straight up million. And we times that to like about third. Yeah, it's about give or take 400 at that point. About 400,000 people show up to vote. There's about 900,000 who just don't, and that is a depressing stat to say because that's basically saying again 2-1 for every Republican that votes, 2 don't, which means 2 are living off the welfare of the other one that does. And the problem is do you really like what the one guy is voting on? And that is a question that you got to ask, especially with the primaries. Primaries are when, sorry, still getting into it. So that's again, that's another side of the math. And here's the thing. You thought that's where I ended it. No. So I went into each state. So each federal house is up every 2 years as well. Did that. Oklahoma has 5 districts. I did that for all the districts as well, keeping the same methodology. Furthermore, from that, I was able to get the average according to those 5. And so from there, I was able to get this graph. We're almost done, I swear. I only have one more graph after this. So this is now there's only 5 elections, right? 5. There's only 5 max. Some of them were uncontested. Usually, like Frank Lucas survived, but again, we're seeing a commonality take shape. So actually, I want to do this. No, sorry, I want this because this is the state house, or this is what is this? This is the U.S. House elections. So let's look and add the primaries. Oh, this isn't what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So furthermore, we also want to include the Senate. And furthermore, we want to include the governor. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, we don't want to include the governor. So I need to back out. How do I do that? I need everything but me currently. You know what? I'm just going to do this. Everyone can hear me, right? Yes, you all can hear me. Okay, so now I gotta figure out how to get this. So we have these graphs. Let me flip this. So we have these graphs, people. Does anyone see anything that tells me that the care ratios are probably wrong? Because I'll tell you, I'm not finding. Or actually, hold on. Let me add myself back in. Sorry, hold on. Back in. Okay. I'm not finding it. I'm they all look the same. If I took off the titles and made one red, you wouldn't be able to figure out which is which because they're all doing the same. They exist, go up, down, whoa, go down, a little descent, and then wah, and then we see the average. They're all the same, which means I think I did my job right, and that they're all super similar in that it's impossible to distinguish the two. Um, so yeah, and the numbers are all kind of realigning with each other. Um, excuse me. I know in 2014 the House was about 22.5. We have 20 for the U.S. House. It's less, but it's definitely near. It's what, 5%? No, it's not even that. It's like 3% max. And what's incredibly funny is this. So because I got one more graph. I just got one more graph and then we're done with the graphs. Is this. So, sorry, wrong one. This is the final compilation. So we have the average. The average is the line. So anytime a care ratio broke the average, they're all consistent. This is the House. The yellow is the House primary care ratio. We have the Senate care ratio in the blue teal. We got the purple, which is the governor's, which only one time broke the average. Sorry, twice broke the average in 2014 and 2018 of an average care ratio between all four. Then we have the U.S. House, and that got us only one time it broke in 2014. All of it stays in the average of 30%, 42. Hold on. I have the compilation here. So the 2014, the average that we get is about 29, 42.5 for 2018, which is ironic because the governor is actually the House or the newer one I added, the green, it's 42.4. So the difference, it didn't shift from the last time I did this. So when I did it with just 3 in 2018, so stopping at the governor, it's still at a 42.5. And then 2022, it was 30.3. They're all close to each other. They were somewhat near the governor. They're kind of halfway in between. Now, mind you, there's only 5 districts. 5 districts contain a buttload of people. Those 5 districts contain multiple House districts and Senate districts. So in the Senate, I was going to do the Senate. You should be happy that I did not do the Senate because it was only 3 elections. So I just didn't do it because it wasn't an apt. It's like the last time I wanted to talk about the Democrats, but the Democrats don't have as many primaries. In 2014. In 2012, they didn't have that many primaries. So I'm going to use the assumption that it stayed consistent, at least. So anyways, so that was again the methodology that we had. Sorry, let me reset my stuff. So that's at least my data, right? Now, the question I have to ask myself, and the question I ask you, what does this mean, right? What does this mean? What does this mean? What could this mean? Well, we'll get into the closer now. We don't show up to vote, Oklahoma. Especially my Republican brotherhood. We don't show up to vote. We just don't. And if you want to say, no, we do, look at my data. Should you be surprised? Yes. Should you feel ashamed? Yes. If you've done your job, then no. But if you haven't, let's be honest, you're not watching this. You're not watching me as I berate you, mainly because of the fact that you don't give a crap about politics. You just listed yourself as a member of the party, which is why, if I get into office, I definitely want to limit voting in this way. Like, if you want to vote and actually participate in our society, or be governed, if you want to be governed by our society, then you need to be having a voice in it, and that is every year, not just every presidential election, which that doesn't really do anything, right? Because 2014, I don't have anything for 2024, but if 2026 happens, I could probably do this math again, and guess what? It's probably going to be somewhat similar to 2014. 2022. I doubt it'll be a 2018. I doubt it. Unless for some reason Trump's first term or his last term, his midterm, and everyone with the Trump agenda shows out. But if that be the case, then we got a different problem. We have a problem that people don't want to show up unless they are told to by their higher ups, by Trump, unless they have an incentive to. And I think that's the biggest problem is that there shouldn't be an incentive to vote, except the incentive that is a properly ordered government. Your just reward for doing your duty is that the government flows. But if you need something more, then, for a state that's highly Christian, that's kind of rough. To do what's hard, to do what's necessary in the name of nothing is kind of a Christian attitude. I'd even go further and say it's a Catholic one because every week there is the sacrifice of the mass, and we hear the word sacrifice. We eat the sacrifice. Um, and it's just I expect better of my people in Oklahoma. I expect better, especially from Republicans, especially since there's a heavy faith bent, and none of them want to do their duty, or they're going to look for a way to get out. And which is kind of why you have, I guess, the Protestantism, because Oklahoma, let's be fair, is highly Protestant. Protestantism does look for ways to get out of things, whether that be contraception, so that way you don't have to worry about having too many children, or having a virtue called what's its name, chastity. So again, I don't have a roadmap for this, so it's just things. But what's sad is that the numbers are staying very consistent. The numbers that I've done, the data that I've done has stayed so consistent that I'm probably right. Hello, Patriot. Welcome in. I'm probably right that about a third of Oklahomans actually vote and everyone else doesn't. And in that, it's sad for a guy that especially who wants to run for office. It's kind of hard. This is a sad omen because we kind of have this weird. There's a symbiotic relationship, I think, between the voters and those who are in government. If you want the government to be different, if you want the government to actually work, if you want the problem solvers to enter into politics, you can't just say run for office because that's a freaking easy sentence to say. But when it comes down to it, they can run the greatest campaign ever. They're years. They're years, Patriot. Sorry, not years. They're different branches. It's House, it's the Oklahoma House, Oklahoma Senate, Governor, and US House primary care ratios. And then the black line is the average. If you go back, it's there. But what was I getting it on? Chiz. I had to look at chat. Shiz, what was I on about? I was in a solemn mood. What was it about? Shiz. I can't believe I'm forgetting. Oh, right, the symbiotic relationship. Right, took me a minute. So, the symbiotic relationship, like if you want the problem solvers, like if you want me in office, if you want me to come in and me to get the abortion pill finally dealt with, you want me to add a theology class to the high school graduation, if you want me to gosh, what else was there? Put voting limits. Whether that be age limits, not term limits, because I think term limits are dumb if people actually did the job. Which, what job? This job. This is the job. Like we wouldn't have to worry. Term limits are only there because people don't do their job, and I will fight to defend that value. It is to make people lazy to not take on their enemy. But if you want a government that works, and the problem solvers come in and say, I want to do this, I want to do that, like myself. We're only one vote at the end of the day. Now, in office, we are one vote, and our one vote is of 1 of 101 for just the House. But I can't do anything to make the government better if you don't vote. And here's the thing, if you're not voting, then you can't be surprised the government is still inefficient. When the problem solvers said, hey, I want to make the government better, and you didn't put them in, surprise, surprise, it's the same government. You can't be surprised by poking a bear that it gets mad and tries to maul you. No matter how you do it, it's always going to be the same conclusion. You could prod it less or more, it's still going to wake up. It's a bear. What do you think is going to happen? And this is why I think the most important thing is that you need to be voting. And actually, ironically, while I was if Boz is still here, it was I had to take a glimmer. I had to take a video, or not. I had to take a snapshot. Trent made a really good. He brought up Pope Pius XII, and I feel like what he said. Now, he was talking about the women voting aspect, but we'll ignore that. What I like is what the Pope said. There it is. It is a strict obligation on all entitled men and women, for now, to take part in elections. And the reason that he said that was after the 19th Amendment got passed and said that each should be voting. Now, why do we vote? And the question has always been to put in the pieces of our republic that we want to represent us. So it is really on you. Government is on the people. It is made up of people, from the people, voted by said people. It's all on you. I can't do anything about it. I'm one guy. It's just what it is. And I'm hoping that there will be people who realize this and actually start doing their duty, because it is your duty, whether or not you like to admit it or not. It is. So anyways, I think that's it. I don't think there's really anything else. It's just the pure vote, because the guys that want to upstart some of the government need you. So I think that's it. And again, let's take a one last look at this. Why don't we? Why don't we take this last look at this? This and this are needed. One last look. So we have Republicans going up, and yet we still vote in the same manner. Hold on, sorry, this is the wrong image. I need this one. For all of the voting, for all the Republicans that we have in the state of Oklahoma, we are still the same. We keep growing in members, but our members aren't voting. And that's a problem that the party needs to take on. And I will be adding probably my Oklahoma GOP with this stuff and be like, guys, if you really want to be honest about the state question, it's that no one votes. You can't be. Let's listen to the dumb nut. I said the dumb nut. Let's listen to the.
I want to speak plainly to.
All right. So I need to get rid of this. Hold on, chat. All right. Let's do this again. So he said something here that I said keep a hold on. So let me find it.
2018, your choice for governor, November.
Okay. Yeah, this is near it.
Would have been Drew Edmondson and Connie Johnson, both Democrats. State question 836 isn't about fairness. It's about flooding our elections with big money, weakening our parties, and handing power to out-of-state activists. We've built a strong conservative state through hard work and strong values. Radical left attempting to destroy our closed primary system and silence Oklahoma.
Okay, there we are. There we are. It's at 15. Okay. So in about 2 seconds, he's going to say a line. He's going to start saying a line that I think is so funny. And I made mockery of it when we started this about an hour ago, give or take, a little more. I made a mockery of this and I said, he's an idiot. Because when you look at this math, it's wrong. So in 2 seconds, he's going to say the line.
Closed primary system and silence Oklahoma's voices in our elections.
Silence Oklahoma. Sorry, let's do that one more time. Okay, he's gonna say it.
Closed primary system and silence Oklahoma's voices in our elections.
Oklahoma's voices will be silenced. No, it won't. So Oklahoma, the only silencer, Oklahoma Republicans, the only one silencing your vote is the guy in the mirror. I want you to look at a mirror. That's your culprit. That is the reason that you are not, or that is why you are silenced. You are silenced because you have sat as a lazy cunt, which I can say because my math is backing me up. I don't say this to just give you a middle finger. I give you one because you're doing shit. Silencing voters, my ass. You guys are silent to begin with. You don't have your tongues for me to even have you're mute already. There is no silencing silence. You're already muted. So anyways, I think that's the end. Did the Bucks win? Sorry. I'm seeing everything. Some things are screwing up. All right. So anyways, I'm sad. I'm depressed. I wish my state was doing better, but it's not. So, and again, I will be posting these graphs probably on Twitter tonight after I make a salad. And I am going to be intensely saddened by the fact that y'all, and by that I mean Oklahomans, don't want to vote. And let's be honest, I bet if I went through other states, it's going to be the same. If I go through what is probably the most reddest state? Gosh, I probably go through like Texas, and I bet the numbers could be better. There is a I forgot. Gosh. Oh well, it's fine. But anyways, so that is it for us, at least for this big original idea. I forgot again I still need to shift over to my other computer and grab my stuff. So anyways, that is at least it. That is the closer. That is that. So now we move on to Lament of a Warden segment. It's the only else thing I have. Do you want to discuss this? Yeah. So, woo. Okay, sorry. What I think is Lament of a Warden time. Cue the intro. That isn't there. So there's whatchamacallit, Aimfest is happening next week. I foolishly tried to get the Council of Zoomers next week, but I just realized that the 18th is right the day when America Fest starts, and that's from Turning Point. So, because I'm trying to get Pine Sap on again for the council, but we're gonna have to wait probably till January because after that next week I'm gonna take a break since it's Christmas because I only stream the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So it's like the day before Christmas Eve and Christmas after, and then Christmas. But I'm not streaming Christmas Eve. I'm gonna get 0 viewers, so I'm not gonna do it. And then Friday, I just don't want to. And then there's Monday, but I'm not. Unless there's something, then I will. But Kairos, welcome. You're at the like last bits of the stream for right now. We got maybe 10 more minutes, but welcome in, boy. Welcome in. It's glad to see you again. Yeah. Yeah, I was meaning to contact or I would hope you come back in. Yeah. I know you were playing Helena last night. I checked back cuz I was like, "Wait, how good is he? I may need to get a team going." Um and yeah, Helena, you were what? I think it was like 41-9 then, but yeah. Damn, I thought I was early. Yeah, it's 9. Yeah, when I'm gaming, it's like I go till 2 a.m. in my uh place, so or where I am. So, oops, what's up? Tampa Bay lost. Okay. So, of course it did. I knew Tampa Bay would lose. I knew it. I knew it. I knew Baker Mayfield would suck ass. Um anyways, but yeah, it's 9 p.m. So, or at least where I am, Central. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. But if I don't know if Kairos, if you're open, I'd love to. There's another guy I'm trying to play with, but he's in platinum, so I need to be growing. But anyways, before I get on to I guess more chat, let me do the Lament of the Warden for reals this time. So America Fest is happening next week, literally next week. It will happen Thursday. Oh, my phone's lighting up for different things. Wait, hold on, what was that? Darn. Okay. So, America Fest is going on. America Fest posted or Turning Point listed its uh people. So I'm gonna present very quickly. Got to share my screen. The people that are there. Woo. Kind of. We can figure this out. We can figure it out. Um, let's see. Hold on. I need to shift this. That should do. No, that won't. If I might. That would be better. This will work. This will work. This is far better. Never mind. Okay, so where there we are. So this is the group. This is the group. I'll get to you, Kairos. I'll get to you. Let me finish this. So this is the group of people they've selected. So what we have, sorry, let me just okay, there we are. That's enough people. So I gotta it won't let me. It's zoomed all the way. It's not gonna let me okay. Okay, this is the end. So, okay, so America Fest, what I think is funny is they have JD Vance, the vice president showing up. Okay, fine. Erica Kirk is going to be there. I'll say this, I I'm very weirded off by Kirk and by the crying cuz every time she's on camera, like every time she's on camera, it's like, Charlie, he was such a good man and he got circumcised because he loved the Jews that much. And it's like it's weird. It doesn't feel real to me. It feels staged, it feels an act. Um and also to me it's like if she's not ready to come out, was she the wife? Yeah, she was the wife. Erica Kirk is the wife of the late Charlie Kirk. But yeah. If she is not ready to be out in the spotlight, then whoever asked her to get out is definitely took an L. Uh, but she kind of takes one too because she opened herself to this um ridicule, and it's like I feel bad. Like I see Walsh, he tried to defend her, but it's like the crying is kind of weird. It's in every video. Literally. Every. And I don't say that as hyperbole. I mean that quite literally. It's in every video I watch of her. It's like, well, it's like, I get it, your husband died. But I feel like this is being overplayed. So, Tucker Carlson's going to be there, so that's a good thing. I'm surprised. I thought they were going to kick him out. Bannon's gonna be there. Kind of me on Bannon. Trump Jr. I don't particularly like him, especially because y'all remember Kirk's like memorial service. Now, true, it's like unfortunately, uh, Kirk was Protestant. I'm a Catholic. I When we have memorial services, it's very prayerful. It's very thoughtful on the person who had just passed because we are hoping that they have earned their eternal reward. Now, true Protestants don't necessarily believe that, so there's kind of that theological difference. But I thought it was funny because the memorial service turned into a Trump rally, and it wasn't supposed to be, because death does have its place, and it does need to have its like day, hour, if that makes any sense. And for them to turn his memorial service into a rally was just horrible in my eyes. Gabbard, I don't really care in the way. Like, I don't particularly like her, but it's fine. Megyn Kelly, I think just she fails as a Catholic. I think she has something. Not a uterus. But she does. But there was something that she was arguing about the other. Oh, she's a feminist. That was the issue there. Jesse Walters, Joe or Greg Getfeld, kind of meh. It's like, all right, this is 2016. Shapiro, Beck. I don't even know this guy. Swan Vivek, take an L, loser. Christmas riot is never going away. That Christmas rant is never going away. That's I just love about that. I need to retweet that. That's been a year. Matt Walsh probably the good one out of that entire row. Everyone else sucks. Knowles probably the best one. Probably it looks like the best of that row. Benny Johnson, he gets on too much social media guy. This is the thing. Like, I do social media kind of like I do my social media, but it's like there are some lines that I'm not crossing because I'm like, I don't want to be him and I don't want to do his thing and him. Then he posts a lot of like, oh, this clip is going viral. Check it out. And it's like, have some originality. Either make the viral clip or be like, yo, I saw this viral clip and I think it's funny, and put some actual like thought into your content rather just than be a reposter. Jack was in the Epstein thing, so he's a no. No matter, even though he's a fellow Catholic too, idiot. Um, Duffy, don't really care. He's in the FFA, I think, or that's Future Farmers. What am I thinking of? FAA. There we are. Sorry, I said the wrong double. I have no idea who this Rachel whatever is. Oh, it says Duffy. Oh, uh, uh, uh. Oh, I didn't realize he married a feminist. Okay, I'm gonna assume. Hold on, we got to do this math. hold on, hold on. Hold on. Sean Duffy wife. Ooh, hyphenated name. Oof. I don't care. Is she Latina? Hold on. Is she a Latina boy? Sean. She's American. Let's see. Early life. Oh, definitely. With a mother of Maria del Pilar. Definitely. That's funny. She still has her father's maiden name. Oof. Oof. Duffy is cooked hard. Anyways, we have and then Carson, Homan, Byron Donalds, rather fishback. He seems better for Florida. Luna, who literally posted her butt cheeks for the world to see, somehow as a congresswoman. Sorry. Um, Ken Paxton, kind of don't care. I don't even know who this doctor is. Don't really care about that. Beth is a feminist. Moving on. Gaines, milking her fame. I don't know who Savannah is. Dana, I thought she raced cars. I don't know why she's here. I have no idea who he is. I don't care. I halfway don't care either. Yeah, none of these guys are really uh kicking my gears anymore. Datum's a Zionist. I don't even know who this. Oh, it's a pastor. Oof. Um, I have no idea about these guys. Greg. That name seems familiar. But anyways, So we see some pastors. Yeah, nothing's really like connected with me. Alex is kind of meh. But like what's interesting, like not only though, like we got this Bryce Cradford guy, so he's another like evangelical type dude. Everyone else I've never either heard of and or I have not seen enough stuff to really do anything. Oh, except for Christine Hawkins down here. I don't like Hawkins. She's a feminist. And then we have Girls Gone Bible over here, which I thought was the insane part that we have that. But what I think is interesting, and this is why I say it's a lament of a warden, is that that's that cast is filled with a bunch of like 2016 conservatism by now. And the thing is, we're never going back to that. We just aren't. Like it literally is the time. Hold on, can I find it? Let me find it. Let me find the Tai Lung meme. Tai. There we are. Tai Lung meme. Conservative. Let me see if I can find that meme. Images. Actually, shouldn't it be videos? Yes, it should be a video. I'm not seeing it right off the bat. Very well. We'll move on. So, there's the Tai Lung meme, right? Where it's like he comes back to Master Shifu and it's like the 2016 with the effects don't care about your feelings. Like that meme is very real for Gen Z by now. Like Gen Z is not 2016 anymore. Trump isn't 2016 Trump anymore. But the problem is that Trump has not gone back to the same like based levels that he was, and we're all very aware of that. I think conservatives are going to learn that Gen Z is not going to be accepting some of the things that the millennials took. It's not going to be like the um uh boomers, or not boomers. What's it? What's the middle? Uh shiz. Gen X. Gen X. We're not going to be like them. We're a little bit more risque. We're not as feely. We're very based, and not in a way to be belittle, but because we have been dealt with for so much that we think that the systems is still going to be the same, or we don't want the systems to be the same because they're not working, and we're very aware that we've lived under them. And I think with that, um, it's just Gen Z. I think the older generations are are waking up currently to the new fact that Gen Z is hyperly based and based too much. Um, that it's actually going to end. It's probably going to end a lot of things. Like we are getting a lot of the guys, especially Gen Z men, we're tired of feminism, and by that, not even third wave, just any of it. We're done. Some of the 2016 talking points, it's like those don't work anymore. Calling us a racist, a sexist, or any other is and ism, and then we have an ism, except autism, does not work anymore. We've been confronted with so much in the 2 decades or 3 that we've been alive that it just bounces off us. And I think it's gonna be a rude awakening, and I'm very happy because that means that nature is healing, the world is on an upward trek, and yeah, I think that's it. That's it of the lament. So I'm done. I have nothing really posted. I had no idea what I was going to do next week, but fortunately, our friend of the channel that he's not, that's a joke. Eric McCade, the Catholic Christian, he posted, I guess, a video going after Nick again. And so I'll react to that next week. I will be drinking. So I need to get a new bottle of vodka though. Not because I'm gonna be drinking a lot. I feel like I'm gonna be drinking a lot. It's not that I ran out of vodka. It's that I have too little vodka currently. So it's gonna be a fun next Thursday. Unless something happens politically that I want to take my mind on, that it'll just be a reaction. which will be far funner for me. I love doing that. I did that the other week and it was best. So, anyways, but yeah, but yeah, I'm done. I'm leaving chat open. If nothing says anything for the next, 2 minutes, then I'm just gonna yippee ki But uh, yeah, I need to. Ooh, speaking of that, sorry, I'm thinking. I need to turn into rivals. Actually, the other night I got told that like I shouldn't have. There was a guy that tried to. I guess he was throwing last night, and I reported him for that because the enemy team said he was. Um, eat right now. Yeah, I'll find a eat right now. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, Kairos, if you ever want to like play, like if you want to, I don't know what else you have to like send me a message. I have my Instagram as well. It's all my handles are shown up. So like, if you want to Instagram or if you want to do Instagram or uh Twitter would also work. Any of those, hit me up, let me know. I usually do it Wednesday, so if you play Wednesday, and I'm streaming for so I'm in Central Time, so it's from 9 to 2. So if you're able in that 5 hours, so long as we can still do competitive, I'm more than happy to play. So, um you still here, Kairos? Just to make sure. Just so I'm not saying this into the void. Oops, this got in the way. Move. There we are finally. Anyways, um oh yeah, okay, thank you, Kairos. Yeah. So if you wanna yeah, if you friend me or something of that ilk, you can do that. We could think something out. But yeah. Whatever you want, I'll leave it open to you. I will tell you I'm on my Twitter a lot, but I will get on my Instagram if you send me a message. It just is what it working YouTube. It's like you got to be everywhere, give or take. So, um, anyways, y'all, I will be on tomorrow. I will be playing, unless what's his name? Um, I sincerely doubt he is going to. Speaking of which, I need to do that. Sorry, my brain is like I'm thinking of 3 different things. Um, So DoorDash Thomas, he's somewhat a friend of the channel. He is going to be talking about the Eric McCade video that I was mentioning. He's going to be with a bunch of friends. I'm not invited, actually, which I don't know if he truly wants me to be invited though. So I'll leave it there. But because I think he's bringing on a lot more. Um, should I say it? He's bringing a lot more like Thomas guys on. So it's highly more I guess I could send him that message, just ask. But I should be playing Battlefront tomorrow or Battlefield tomorrow. I still need to buy Battlefield 6, but that is the goal to actually play the Battlefield 6. So anyways, I'll be on tomorrow 9 p.m. Central. So yeah, it should be Magic Mondays. That should be how it stays. Magic Mondays, War Wednesday, and Friday is free for all, so it might not and also could be Battle Battlefront. Battlefront is taken over by hackers, so I wish if they made Battlefront 3, but EA doesn't want to spend money on good stuff. To be fair, the second one they failed. And then Arena, gosh, I wanted to play what was it? Splitgate. I was intending to play Splitgate, and then it died on impact. So rough. Anyways, other than that, I think we're gonna let all of you go. Thank you, Patriot and Kairos, for being in the last. I think probably the last people in here. If again, you two are probably already, but I'm gonna do a typical YouTuber stuff. If you could hit the like, sub, share, whatever, that helps me out tremendously. Other from that, I'm going to make a salad and validate that I wasn't a dick last night. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. I will give like 20 seconds to ensure that it is the end. But yeah. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. I will see you Battlefront Friday. We'll do Magic Monday. Rivals will be Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to discuss the Eric McCade video because he talked about Nick Fuentes again. And then Friday should be Battlefield. Frick. I was looking at Patreon. I was looking at your comment when I said that. So it's not surprising that I said that. Anyways, have a good night, y'all. And I will see you later. 9 p.m. Centrals. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Have a night, y'all.